Hello and welcome to Odd Rides. My name's Claude and today we're going to be going down into the Galloway Forest Park in search of a statue, although it might turn out to be two statues. We don't know yet, that's why we're going down to find out. But we're going to be doing this ride with a small little twist. So this is a brand new cyclecomputer. I managed to knock my previous one off, unfortunately, and it hit the ground. It broke the screen, so it's a complete write-off. So I've had to go with a replacement, and because of the prices of everything at the moment being so sky high, I've gone with a more budget option. So this is the Brighton Rider S800. It technically came out in the 2022, so this is quite a few years old model-wise, but it's the only one I could get at like a reasonable price and that was in stock, because stock is another thing that's just gone completely crazy lately. So I've been using this head unit for the last few weeks to record my weekly rides, and although it does work, it's a little temperamental in some areas, like connecting to sensors. So I'm not entirely sure if I want to keep it. So before I decide to send it back and try to get a refund, I thought you might as well test out the GPS like tracking function, you know, the directions, before you start making a decision. Because if it can do that, then you can live with it. But if it can't, well then its chances are up and it's going back, and I'll just have to save up and buy a more expensive unit. I don't want to do that. I want this to work today. So today we're going to be going down into the Galloway Forest Park, and we're going to be looking for what could be either one or maybe even two statues. So the other day when I was looking at commute and places to go, I noticed that there's a statue down in the forest park called The Eye, and it sits next to a loch called Black Loch. Odd name. Then about 20 minutes later, I was looking at a different loch and about 20 miles difference, and there's a statue there and it's called The Eye. It's like, is there one statue or is there two? So I thought it'd be fun to go down and actually try find if there is only one or two, while taking directions solely from my head unit. Although we will be testing like what it does when I go like off trail and stuff. Because I realised when I put the course in that I forgot to include the visitor centre where I tend to get my water refilled. So it's gonna at least beep at me for that. But anyway, you sit back and relax and I'll get pedalling. What a beautiful day. We're going up that. This rock is my favourite rock because it's at the top and it's a long hill. Don't know if you can see that. Okay, so we're going a little bit off the track of what my cyclecomputer wants to do. It wants to keep going that way, but I'm gonna go this way so I can go down to the Glentroe Visitor Centre so I can get some more water. If it was my old cyclecomputer, it would start beeping at me non-stop until I got back on track. This one, we'll see what it does. So far, it's just telling me I am off route. It only beeped at me once. Although the blue bar at the top does say rerouting, I have a feeling it won't actually work because it doesn't have an internet signal here. Didn't work because I don't have an internet signal on my phone, and that's what this uses to reroute. Okay, so it's worth knowing that that function will not work. I always prefer doing this route instead of the other one because it's a much smaller road, so you don't tend to get as much traffic on it. But we are about to rejoin the route, so we're going to see if this thing can take going back onto its route but at a different place. Okay, so we should be turning left here. It's not telling me to, but I'm going to do it anyway. Looks like it has realised it's on track. Nice. Okay. So I'm a little worried how it took over a mile for it to realise it was back on track. It could be the brain in it that's just that slow, or I don't know what triggered it. Maybe because I was going up a hill. I don't know if that was classified as a hill, honestly. We were going up for a little bit, so I'd be surprised if it wasn't. But anyway, it's working now, and we're back on track, heading towards Black Loch. The wind is really picking up here for some reason. Oh God. This is the bit where I don't know if the computer's going to take it very well. You ever seen so much pink? Not gonna lie, that was quite a slog with that headwind. I mean, it's not a massively strong one, it was just relentlessly always pushing. But anyway, we're now here at Black Loch, and this is meant to be the location of one of the eyes, if Komoot is correct. So I'm gonna be honest here, I don't think the structure's here, I think Komoot's dead wrong. And I know I'm at the right place because there's lots of signs saying Black Loch. Now I do have a hypothesis for this, and that's because the name Black Loch is not unique to this loch. In fact, when you type it into Google, you'll get a lot of different results for Black Lochs in all different locations. I think it's more of a descriptive term rather than a name, really. So they always seem to be really small and they've got dark water, which I think is because of high peat content or something. But yeah, I think my hypothesis is that someone went to the structure, the eye. The eye does exist, I know it exists. And they went, oh, this is a Black Loch, and they've marked the wrong one. because they're both within the forest park, so it's easy done. You'd be able to see it if it was here because it's quite a prominent statue. When we get to the other loch, if we get to the other loch, it's actually getting quite late. Well, you'll know it when you see it, basically. It's massive. But it is not here, which means I've gone in the very wrong direction. Right, let's get moving. Okay, so the next stage of our journey, we got to go on the Queen's Way, which is a 17-mile-ish track that goes from Newton Stewart all the way up to New Galloway. Hi, cows! Unfortunately, I'm running really late now. It's not that I've got something to get back to, it's that sunset's at like, I don't know, 9:30 at the moment. And if we keep going at this rate, we're gonna get back closer to 10, which wouldn't normally be a problem, except for I didn't bring my front light. The last bit, well, it's the middle of nowhere. There's no lights. So we're gonna keep moving. Behold the monolith of the Queen's Way. I swear it looks a lot bigger in person. It looks tiny on this camera, but it's really big. Welcome to my first gravel adventure. There we go. Suddenly I see why people want suspension off-road. Kinda wish I brought my gravel bike for this, but then my gravel bike doesn't have gravel tires yet, so it wouldn't make much of a difference. I have no experience on this stuff. I'm just pushing. That's the gate. Aha! And to our side, this camera's got a sense of comedic timing. It ran out just as we got to the loch. So that down there is another black loch. And I think where we're going is over there. So this road itself is closed to most traffic. So if you're gonna come do this, you have to either be walking or on a bike. Oh, I've spotted it. Okay, so this is the eye. Now, forgive me, I can't remember who made this, but I believe it was in the late 90s when it was actually constructed. It's part of the art project that happened here in the Galloway Forest Park. So you've got this, which is the eye. In that general direction, there are stone heads that are inside of a wall. They're quite discreet. And I believe up that way, there's another bigger stone head. I believe, roughly, I've obviously never been to them. I just saw them on a map. So I'm just estimating it's up that way. Obviously, I don't have time today to go up to actually take you to them. Hopefully when I get my gravel bike like fully finished, I'm still needing to get a new saddle for it, because I can't handle that saddle for long distances, and I need to actually give it gravel tires to handle that sort of road, because this bike is skidding about a bit. But yeah, this is what I was looking for. Now the reason why I thought there might be a second one at that other lock is because it's called an eye, and you don't normally have one eye, you normally have two eyes, but obviously it's not an eye shape. Admittedly, I've got no idea why it's called the eye. It could be that it's meant to be like the eye of a needle, because I do believe there is a hole right here. But this is a massive, massive pile of stones, and it looks like it's got metal around the top. It's probably steel, maybe iron. Made of sandstone, I believe, which means she'll weather away eventually. That's the curse of sandstone. It's very easy to carve and make monuments and beautiful sculptures out of, but well, it weathers very poorly. There's some black marks right here. That's probably because someone's had a fire. That's unfortunate, but people do as they please. You might be wondering why the road going along there is called the Queen's Way, and that's because it got renamed for the Queen's Jubilee, because it's a very, very scenic, lovely, beautiful, in fact, route to take. So you get all the massive rock formations that the southern uplands really make up. I think we're near the Merrick Hills. There is viewing platforms for goats, I believe. You're not meant to touch the goats, by the way. They are diseased, so don't touch them. And I believe there's a Clattering Shores loch. We're actually going to be going past that with a massive dam. And there's, what was it, sea? No. Otters, that's it. There's otter pills. So it's quite a nice day out, or if you just want to drive through as you're going down to England or you're coming up to Scotland, it's a lovely drive to take. But anyway, we got to get back to it because, again, I am running late. Right. So the road we're actually about just to connect up to here, still on the gravel tracks, is actually, I believe, the old Edinburgh Road. So if you wanted to come down and see these art installations, but you didn't want to take the main road, I believe that's an alternative, but I would advise, well, something with gravel tires, maybe a mountain bike, because I think it's like this all the way to it. The road itself, I believe, also starts in Newton Stewart, so we actually probably went past it. All right. There's a bump here going up and a good one down. Sorry, not other way around. My legs really want a break after that. We're not getting one now. Oh damn! Welcome to Clattering Shores Loch. She's a touch bigger than the two lochs we've been to today. In fact, the other two, they would fit in this small little beach over here. She's an actual loch, a big loch. She's man-made though. So there used to be a river that runs through here, I believe, and they dammed it obviously. So now we got the big loch. And I believe over here we have the visitor centre, which is signposted, although you'll not see it from the actual road. You see the signpost obviously, you don't see the visitor centre from the road. And if I remember correctly, that's where the new observatory is going to be, because we're inside of a dark skies park. So, you know, it's a nice place to come and stare at the sky. We had one at Lockdown, but it got burned down by someone at the start of the pandemic. So the new one is meant to be built around here, I believe. No idea when or where. Well, where down there, but not when. I think they're repurposing the visitor centre, so maybe it shouldn't take that long to actually build it. Anyway, we're coming up to a point where I have to make a difficult choice. So, to remind everyone, I'm running late, which I'm sure I'm saying every 30 seconds in a video. Komoot, which I used to plan this route, has actually got me going on a detour off of this road. And it does connect on to a road where I know where it goes. So the choice is, do I stay on this road, which I know is tarmacked and I can keep my speed up, or do I risk going off-road? Well, not off-road, but like on a different road. I don't know if it's actually off-road. Maybe it is off-road. Oh God, I'm rambling. I'm not sure, but I think if we take this detour, it bypasses going down into New Galloway. Not sure, but it might. It might also be slightly shorter, but if it's all going uphill or in rough grounds, then I'm just going to be wasting time. It's about 7:30 for anyone that wonders. Let's say I've got, Jesus, I've only got 2 hours to get back. 35 miles, 2 hours, oh, it's possible. It's not likely, but it's possible. I'll be fine. It's the byway. If it's not fine, it'll be on record. Oh, geez. Oh, my legs. I shouldn't have done this, I should have stayed on the road. On the road, at least I can get my speed up. Way slower. Oh, boy. Come on. It's just gonna be a big thundering descent all the way. That's what I need. This landscape's really pretty, but I don't have time to stop and show you. God damn it. Getting very nervous because I'm going so much downhill. What goes down? Well, thank you. Fair's fair, that's a hell of a descent. Maybe I'll come back to go up it someday. Liable to flooding. That sounds familiar. Am I where I think I am? If so, then we've taken a hell of a shortcut. Right, so that road completely bypassed. It was mostly a downhill. Oh my God.
That was 100% the right thing to do. Yeah, you're a bit slower going on up the hill first, but then it's practically downhill all the way. Right. So we're coming up now to the A713, which is like a main road, and I'm not really going to be stopping to do very much there, so I think I'll sign off the video here. Thank you very much for watching. If you're wondering if the cycling computer is going to be sticking around for a while longer, yes it will. It has passed the test by the skin of its teeth. I might do a more in-depth video if people are interested in that. Into it. It's a budget option, but honestly, it works. If you need something that works, go for it. Although if you're in like a racing background, it's got a bit of lag to it, so maybe not. But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll catch you all in another video. All right, see ya. I don't think I've ever pushed that hard for that long in my entire life. Everything hurts. And my nose feels really blocked.
Yeah, hindsight. Always take your light with you.